trying to retire, but he couldn't catch a break. So he moved to the heart of the Lone Star State. The road of life with its forks and its flats, it's still getting mileage out of old Father Kraft.
By the way, Dorothy loves the ring at the
It's so loud. I know.
It's good though. It's
So,
good.
it's so fake. There's plenty to read out there online, goodness knows. But I was wondering, I came across something the other day and I wanted to see what your position was on it. But what is your position on Updog?
Up dog.
Yeah.
You have to tell me. I don't know about up dog.
Oh, you don't?
No. What's up dog?
Oh, not much. What's up with you?
Oh, shit.
I didn't think you were going to say it. That's it.
Oh, I haven't heard a knock knock joke. Is that what that was?
That's
Was
pretty
that a
bad.
knock knock joke?
I don't know what it was. Yeah. And I don't know what's Updog either. So,
Well, I think that joke is so bad it deserves one of mine.
oh, you got a joke?
Yeah. Two peanuts went in a bar. One was assaulted. Now tell me that's not.
That's amazing. I miss hearing your jokes. Are there any more that you can tell publicly?
Well, let's see. How much time do we have for me to think about that? No, I'm not going to tell any jokes because my family groans so loud when I tell them that it might overwhelm us. It could come through the ether, all the groans of my family, right? It called "Oh, Dad" joke. Oh, Dad. Do you tell those kind of jokes?
Oh yeah.
The family goes, "Oh, Dad."
Yeah. It's terrible. My father confessed to me a couple years ago. He said that his favorite jokes would be the ones that got absolutely no response, just no attention at all, and it's almost like he aspired to it, and I think he got pretty good at it, actually. Yeah. So that's a that's a certain level of badness to a dad joke when you get absolutely no response. So, and that happens around my home quite often. Yeah.
What is it with families? Why don't they have any sense of humor?
I don't know. I don't
That's,
know.
we all have these humorless families.
It's one of the great mysteries.
I know. Well, there it is, a mystery. It's a mystery. It's one of those things we can ask the Lord about.
Yeah. Something I was thinking of, do you remember, this is ages ago now, but we used to get together, I think it was on Sundays. We called it church. Do you remember when we used to get together
Yeah.
on Sunday morning, and sometimes music would play? Oh, and you used to remember you used to hit me in the head with the thurible, and you used to say, "Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, that was an accident," and then you do it again, and
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Well, don't feel bad. You're not alone. Father Cantrell warned me about that too.
You hit him in the head with a thurible?
Well, it seems that he was a little nervous, and he had words with me in the sacristy about that.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I would reverently bow, and that sucker would swing right up to my forehead. Yeah, you're supposed to sense the celebrant, Father,
Well,
not bludgeon them with the instrument of ministry. You know what else I miss?
Kvetch, kvetch, kvetch. That's all you guys can do.
I miss all those times. Remember, you'd genuflect before the altar, and then you'd get stuck, and you'd be like, "Oh, oh, I need a hand, and then you'd make me get down on all fours so that you could sort of lift yourself back up. I miss those days.
Boy, oh boy. Now it all comes out. All the complaints, huh? All the complaints, all my shortcomings through
Well,
the, yeah.
the thing,
Well, we don't,
these are the things that we think annoy us, but then when we don't have them, we realize how much we miss them. Yeah.
yeah. I knew the day would come when, you'd be sorry that you didn't have me to kick around anymore,
Yeah,
you know?
I could use a good clobber over the head with a thurible right about now.
Yeah. Well, that would teach you a little social distance.
Hey,
Hey, maybe that's why.
thuribles.
Maybe I was ahead of myself. I
I
was
think
just trying to
you
get you to
were.
back off, huh?
If everybody got a mask and a thurible and charged
There
that
it is.
baby up and swung it around, there's
There
our
it
social
is.
distancing.
When my son was 4 years old, did I ever tell you that disease? He told his mother he wanted to be a priest when he grew up. She said, "Why?" Of course. And he said, "Because I want to fling that thing around."
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes. It's always those important things that young people notice,
Yeah.
are at the heart of things.
Yep.
That's what he wanted to do, fling that thing around.
That kind of reminds me of what was the first Sunday that your firstborn grandson came to church and you were preaching and the family was sitting in the front row,
Yeah.
and I could tell that he was taking it all in, and I think as soon as the sermon started he was out like a light. Slept, I mean, he was a baby, slept all the way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
He
it's
learned,
genetic. He gets it from his grandmother.
let's say he learned quick. He learned that really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm still smarting, from that time that you let all the Sunday school children through the chancel and then told them to be quiet because I was sleeping.
That got
You,
their attention pretty quick.
you didn't want them to disturb me in my slumbers. I remember that. I
Forgot about that.
don't think I've forgotten. Why do you think I'm in Texas?
Yeah. Yeah, well, as long as nobody's able to sleep through your sermons anymore because you're not preaching, um, I wanted to give you a call and see if you got anything in the file for this Sunday, because I have to preach again this Sunday, and yeah, I haven't started, haven't started, and so I wanted to see if you got any tidbits for me.
Well,
I think it's about sheep.
well, the first thing I want to say is I'm shocked that you aren't ready yet. But moving beyond that, it is Good Shepherd Sunday, right?
It is.
You're too young to remember that. uh, Once upon a time, we had a 1 year lectionary.
Hmm.
I think the current lectionary, the 3 year lectionary, was introduced around 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's in the 79 book.
Yeah, you would have been a very small child then. But some of us were laboring in the vineyard. We had that 1 year lectionary. And so people could identify the Sundays of the year by the readings. And Good Shepherd Sunday was one of them, but we still retained that even with the 3 year lectionary, I think, during the Easter season.
Yeah, Easter.
But actually, all the Good Shepherd talk, is about the Good King. And I like to point out that shepherd for Israel, the shepherd is the king, and God is king, and the shepherd of Israel, and we are his flock, right? And Jesus on the cross is revealed as the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. Uh, which is a reversal, right? Because kings always want their flocks to lay down their lives for them.
Mm.
In this case, the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep, for his subjects, for his people. But this Sunday, I think, is John 10, right?
Yeah.
Which ends, right? The reading ends, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, come that they may have life and have it abundantly. And it's a very important verse, I think, to meditate on now during this time when death is on everybody's mind, even much more than usual.
That's true.
And when we're all wondering uh, about our, or thinking about our own mortality and the mortality of the people we love and those around us. The Lord comes that we have life and have it abundantly. Remember that life is the primal gift and that God has created us to live with Him forever. We ourselves, of course, have already died through our union with Christ in baptism, and death is behind us. We've already entered into eternal life. It's not something you get just after you uh, come to your last breath.
Right. The abundance is a gift that's already given that
Yeah,
can be received even now. Right. Right.
yeah. And trust in Him, trust in the Good Shepherd, trust in the Shepherd who uh, comes to give us an abundance of life and who has laid down his life for us so that we could live all those things, about the goodness of life and about eternity. And
Well, the idea that he leads us through death, literally to life, he's the good shepherd, that he leads us through the valley of the shadow of death. Like this, what's happening right now is forcing us to encounter this truth, not just like beautiful poetry or a psalm or a scripture, but actually in the face of death. I mean, that's where it has its highest meaning and value. And it gets real really quick, uh, because it is real, but it's,
yes,
but, and it's challenging. It is challenging because he has conquered life, but right, if he leads us through death, but that doesn't mean that we won't also face it or encounter it all around us. He doesn't
yes,
eradicate it. He leads us through it. And so all of the fear, all of the pain that death brings, that stuff is all still here. So it this time I think really, yeah, it challenges us to cleave to the good shepherd, because we see that the valley of the shadow of death is really real, not just a pretty poem.
yes, it is. And one of the things that's been on my mind these last weeks, and it's a growing concern of mine. And when I say concern, it's not a negative thing. It's just, and that is that in everything, and even the worst things, there is good to be found. And one of the things that's been on my mind is, are the goods that we are experiencing during this thing that are unique to this experience?
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been thinking about how busy our lives are. We 21st century people. I know it's not just in the 21st century, it was in the 20th century too. Like our lives, even uh, in retirement, my mother used to say that she was so busy, she didn't know when she had time to go to work.
Yeah, yeah. My folks,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And I remember my mother laughing about that. It's like how busy she was. And we're all busy, busy with everything. And it seems like uh, there's always a list of things you have to take care of. Uh, it goes on, no matter what your station in life or situation is. And suddenly, we're not busy. We can't be. We're not allowed to be, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Not in the same ways anyway. Yeah.
no. our neighborhood is very quiet. It's a very quiet neighborhood, which is one of the things I love about it. But now it's virtually silent.
Mm.
There's a silence. I see the neighbors walk, you know, sometimes I'm out walking, but very few automobile sounds. The most noise we get are the landscapers mowing the grass, uh, which is very annoying, actually. uh, the sound of lawnmowers. But uh, people are not busy, they're at home. They're home with their families. Their children aren't running in six different directions the way they usually are.
Yeah.
Uh, and one of the things that we've noticed has been very interesting to me. Uh, our daughter, Sarah, and her husband, Fred, and our four grandchildren have been self quarantined or isolated, whatever you want to call it. And Fred works from home. And we've been doing that. So they come out to our place. And on Sunday, now Dorothy makes a big dinner and even a dessert, homemade dessert and everything. And then there are eight of us around the table. And we all have this big dinner. And that's what people used to do. I
Mm.
remember that.
Yeah.
And now we don't do those things. I know my grandchildren, both of the boys are in sports. So they've got on Sunday afternoons after church, they've got basketball games, baseball games, right?
Yeah.
All that kind of thing going on. So it's like, well, let's get together after church and meet for lunch somewhere. Well, it will do that if Freddie's baseball game isn't scheduled or his basketball game, right? Or some other thing. And children have all these activities, which usually take place on the weekend. And so I've been enjoying these Sunday dinners no end. They've been a heck of a lot of work for Dorothy, but uh, they've been wonderful.
That's
And
awesome.
I thought, I remember this from 60 years ago,
Yeah.
but I don't remember it for a very, very long time because everybody's so busy.
Yeah. Well, you should help her cut the onions. It's true. We've been and with our family enjoying, well, you talk about kids running in six different directions. With three of them in our house, they're still running in six different directions. They're just kind of running into each other. But we've been able to have focused prayer time around the daily office that I didn't have the what spiritual discipline to just darn it make everybody sit down at this time each day. And now it's become habit, and my kids are reminding me that it's
There
time
you go.
for evening prayer. And we love games and puzzles, but it's almost become a daily ritual after dinner to figure out what's the game or which puzzle are we going to work on. And yeah, it's an immense blessing to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it'll be nice if I don't know how much of that we'll be able to continue once this is over, you know, because all the world will intrude again in the way it does. But these are some of the really good things that we're experiencing this. Uh,
Oh goodness, yeah.
yeah, and things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
I like uh, I like the silence, uh, a deep peace that's come with this. Uh, it's gotten me out of my car. You know, I drive over 20,000 miles a year, and I think in the last couple months I've driven 100 miles. Uh, and when I do get in the car, and now Dorothy and I go drive, just go out and drive someplace, look at the scenery, don't get out of the car,
Yeah.
just to get out of the house. And I realized that uh, those uh, almost 2,000 miles a month I would be driving, you know, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot more time. That time adds up. That car time adds
It
up.
sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes a toll on your nervous system, sitting in traffic or avoiding the crazy drivers, accidents, you name it.
One
And
of the things we're gonna miss. I was reading this. Someone was writing about it. Things we'll miss coming out of this time, and someone said, the ability to mute someone while they're talking. Is that so great? It's
that's it.
with Zoom. It's like, oh, I just mute you. And at some point, we'll be back together again, and we're gonna feel that urge of like, oh my gosh, I can't mute this person. I, I don't have that
No,
power anymore. Or
that's
for the we've been doing all of our sermons online, and it's like I just tell people, it's like, I mean, this is a great benefit, because if you don't like it, you just close it, just
that's right.
whatever, delete it, move on, say your prayers. By the way, that makes me think, like, if I can call you and I can get sermon material from you, I mean, I'm videoing the sermons anyway. I'm just one step away. If I could maybe superimpose my beard and my hat on your face, I could maybe just stick this right up there, and that'd be it.
You think you could get away with that, huh?
I think it's worth
Well, you do
trying.
say I'm looking better all the time.
I do. I think it's worth a shot. I don't think anybody will know. I
You
don't
don't
think
think?
they'll know. I think they'll think there's another great sermon. That can't be Father Kraft, obviously.
No, they'll say, I'll say, we're going to have to do something for Father Doran because, he's, he, we may be in lockdown, but he's been working so hard for us. He looks 30 years older. He's aged so much. It's really taking it out of him.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's true too. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. Thanks again for the wisdom, and I'll have
Yeah.
another roll of toilet paper in the mail for you any day.
Yeah. Well, I wish you could send me I don't know. I have to tell you, now you won't care about this because your eating habits are better than mine.
Oh, I don't know about
But
that.
I'm like a 2 or 3 cheeseburger a week guy
Oh,
and French fries, And in the last 2 months, I think I've had one order of French fries and I haven't had a burger and geez, I'm becoming desperate. Send
I'm
me a cheeseburger.
I'm gonna
Let me
make
get
you
that.
a cheeseburger and some fries. I'll put it in a little Ziploc bag there, and I'm gonna send it your way.
Boy, I tell you, I could go for it. Like man, I miss those cheeseburgers. Of course, my heart doesn't miss them.
No,
My cardiovascular system is saying thank you.
yeah,
But the
like the
rest of
rest of the environment. Yeah, yeah. The pollution is taking a break. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. It's like, did you see? By the way, before we go, did you see the pictures of the canals in Venice?
Yeah. There's fish in
Well,
them, turns
you can
out.
see the fish in them.
Yeah.
It's like really, yeah. Maybe that's what my arteries are like.
I'll bet
And
it is. The canals in Venice.
like I could see the blood moving through my arteries.
That's it. No more cheeseburger tourists. Yeah.
Uh, uh, just my heart saying some good has come out of this whole thing. Well, listen, it's been great talking with you,
Yeah, it's super.
and we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, when I'm preaching, I'll probably give you a call. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you. You take good care, and we'll see you soon, I hope.
Okay, be in touch.
Blessings. Bye bye.